Hard for me not to vote for Rafael Soto in ancient times. I mean, no disrespect to you, John, but where is Rafael Soto? It's actually surprising to be at a wrestling event and not see his face, his mug.
Well, you forget he'll be here, but he'll be late.
That is right. Okay, so it looks like we have here in the finals, we have Ryan Gaynor from Tottenville. He's going to be green. And you have Frank Gioia from Monsignor Farrell, who's going to be red.
Yeah, now, I believe Gioia was the 10th seed. Wrestled most of his year up a weight and came down. I think he was injured for a little while and doesn't have the record. But he looked very impressive, knocking off a very high seed in the semifinals. Talked to his coach about it, and his coach said no one knows him.
Interesting. You're right. He was Frank Gioia is I think it's saying here he's the 3 from Monsignor Farrell, and we have Ryan Gaynor. Gaynor, number 1 ranked wrestler at the weight class, looks to give Tottenville Pirates and Mayor Cup champion to lead things off. The Pirate is returning medalist from last year's tournament, taking 7th at 99 pounds. He holds wins over number 2 Sean Muratov from James Madison. If everything goes planned, he's going to win his first Mayor's Cup gold today, but right now it doesn't look that way. He's got a double light that didn't score it on him by Gioia. And again, let's talk about, these are 2 Staten Island teams, John, and these are 2 coaching staffs that used to work intimately with each other. And you have Ray Brinzer in the mix, who is the X Factor, ladies and gentlemen. He is the guy that was in and around New York City for a very, very long time that no one knew about. He was our secret weapon back when we had our first round of state champs and All-Americans, all state placement finishers in the state. It was Ray Brinzer. Great run-off, high crotch double there, trying to get to a lift to put him back down, and scores 2. Really beautiful wrestling.
Sure was. Ties the score up at 2-2 with 40 seconds remaining in the first period.
Gioia on the run right back to center.
Mike, if you vote for Rafael Soto over me,
I would never do that.
I will never speak to you again.
John Tush, my favorite wrestler of all time. John, by the way, for you guys at home, I'll tell you a quick story. John is probably, him and Redford. That's Robert Redford, most handsome guys you've ever seen. John's father was very, very involved in all of the production, the back end, the relationships, the business side of Hollywood on the East Coast. John had the opportunity to probably go and model for, Wilhelma models and do a lot of things. He was a private school kid from the Upper West Side. And, you can say a lot of things about that. You can paint that picture. But the fact remains is that John Tush was the toughest SOB on any neighborhood in any part of New York during his heyday. There wasn't a place or a block that he didn't go trying to find the toughest and the baddest dude and challenge into a brawl. Eventually, he found the sport of wrestling, was able to legally do it down at the New York Athletic Club, and then eventually New Jersey. But that is the story of John Tush.
Well, I appreciate it. At least I learned how to act that way anyway.
So here we are. We're back in. We have a 4-3 lead with Gioia on bottom, looking to get out of this the bar arm. Ryan Gaynor here is just long.
Yeah, he is.
His tight waist can just wrap around to your spine. And then, so it's always frustrating, John, when you're on bottom and you have somebody who goes to go claw ride and then is able to slide down to a tricep and suck that arm in. In freestyle, you call it the West Point gut wrench. In collegiate, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and he's riding tough. He is rangy. Working a one-on-one on one side and a half on the other. Yeah,
he's doing a great job with his head, too. Gaynor is, by putting his head in the back of Gioia's head, trying to get that hand slung in for for that dirty jersey inside wrist half Nelson ride that we were talking about before.
And his knees are not touching the mat. He's riding very heavy, although there he gets called for stalling. He's got to come out to the side a little bit more.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. I mean, he's on top. He's certainly looking for a move, but you can't ride parallel the whole time. You got to get out, as my coach, Robin Winkler, used to say, get perpendicular.
I agree.
I wasn't able to understand what that was until the internet came out and, was it 1999? I was a junior in high school, and I looked that word up. So I had a hard time wrestling top-bottom for a long time. There he is riding that butt ride, trying to keep his hands heavy. That's what you want to do. Coming across that claw ride to a far tricep is Ryan Gaynor. Spiral ride, trying to break him flat. He's got to be careful he doesn't run him all the way out of bounds. He doesn't get hit for a second stalling. 35 seconds left. He's working hard, but that might not be enough in the eyes of the New York City officials. Calls him out of bounds. I don't know if they were out of bounds. We're going to go back in. 28 seconds.
And Gaynor's got to be careful there when he's on his feet there trying to do a mat return. He's already got a stalling call.
Yes.
If he doesn't bring him back down to the mat in due time, he'll get another one and lose a point.
That's right, guys. So he's on top right now. They're counting. The refs are imaginary counting 5. You can't stay up. Your opponent can't stand up. You be on your feet. You have your hands locked. Within 5 seconds, 1, 2. The top man, the man who's behind, has to put a serious effort into mat returning his opponent. Otherwise, that's deemed a stall call. The ref will make a fist with his hand. 2 stall calls equal 1 point. So you have to be careful of how and when you decide to get a stall call. Look at this handsome guy over here. This Beat the Streets alumni running all around these places.
And I think Frank lost an opportunity or missed an opportunity there. He should have gotten one to tie this up going into the third period. He's starting with an optional start here.
Which is weird because you don't have to have the optional start. You can actually get right back to your feet. But maybe he was looking for a cradle.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to release him, but the escape was earned. But he scores right away with a takedown.
Beautiful takedown. Short time into the period. 5-5 score. Lets him up. We got some real wrestling here to be the best in New York City at 99 pounds in the year 2018. Give a quick shout out to myself. That's what I want to do. Or not so much myself, but for you guys at home, go check out GothamCityWrestling.com. We got all the updated rankings, all the content, brackets for this tournament and future tournaments. We're going to be looking to do some more biopics and some things for the New York City wrestling community, so you can know exactly who John Tush is, who Larry Cantor is, who Bill Crum is, and obviously the athletes that you're seeing compete.
And Gioia got a takedown. And now they're back up on the feet.
They let him a second go there. 1:05 should be on that clock. I'm just 7-7. Every second's going to count between these two. He's got that inside tie. Gioia does. He wants to get a little bit higher in the arm. Looks like his right hand is hooked up on Garner's elbow. You want to get higher in the armpit. But 53 seconds, 7-7. You have the number 1 pick and the people's champ to be the winner in Ryan Gaynor from Tottenville in white. But Gioia here in on a double leg Gaynor. Great job with a hip extension.
Yeah, got his hips down.
Hip ice, ran around that bad shot.
All right, we got 31 seconds left. It's 9-7 Tottenville.
25 seconds.
Granby and reverses him.
He reverses it up, tied up with 20 seconds. He's got a 2-on-1. He's got an eye on the clock, but he's really got to get his knee up his butt and run Gaynor flat. You can't let him get up and start building up. 10 seconds. He's got to really pull that wrist in, knee up the butt, run him as flat as he can. Otherwise, this is a situation you don't want to get into with short time and him coming up to his feet. The Granby roll. What a great match. Holy crow. Holy crow.
Start out like this at 106, boy. This is great.
This is some good wrestling. I don't know that Don Boyle is a wrestling fan, but he is pumping his hand, and he's excited too.
So this will be a 1-minute period. Sudden victory.
These are two schools that used to have very bad blood. A lot of competition between these two schools. Tottenville coach Phil Squattatro was the coach at Monsignor Farrell up until last year before. He's in there trying to show his merit, show his worth, which he's obviously doing. And you're seeing, that he's very energetic. But Farrell is just a great team. They got a non-seeded kid in Gioia who's in on another double leg. And he's going to score. He's going to score. That's two.
And that's it.
What a good match. Holy crow.
Fantastic match.
unseeded or not.
I believe 10th seed.
I think he was
no one knew him. But, he's working out every day with Adams, who's coming up next, I believe. Yeah, Adams.
Teddy Adams.
Who's arguably the best wrestler in the tournament.
Terry Adams, after a strong performance at last year's Mayor's Cup, returning 2017 champion, poised to repeat.